I drove 6 hours without a break, no coffee, no gas station snack runs, just the road, the envelope in my glove compartment, and 100 rehearsals in my head. The plan was simple: walk in, hand my dad the gold-foiled folder, and finally, give him the one thing he always said he'd never have: courtside tickets to the Lakers finals, his dream. Growing up, he'd talk about those seats like they belonged to another species of man, the kind with power, the kind who mattered. So I became that man, built something from nothing, took every side gig, worked through flu seasons and 18-hour days, no silver spoon, no handouts, just grit. And for once, I didn't want recognition, I just wanted to give him something that said, I remember. The drives to practice, the games we watched with the volume low so mom could sleep. You showed up, even if you didn't say much, so here, I'm showing up, too. But I misread the moment. Dinner was meant to be small, close family, his favorite steak, a quiet celebration. I slid the envelope over before dessert, heart pounding. He opened it slow, eyes narrowing in confusion, then widening in disbelief. No way, he whispered. Courtside, I said. He held the tickets up like trophies. Everyone leaned in. My cousin asked if they were real. My mom blinked in shock. My uncle clapped my shoulder. And for a moment, I saw it, a real smile, a flicker of warmth. Then came the toast. He raised his glass, tickets still in hand, and said with a smirk, to my son, still a disappointment, but hey, at least he's rich now. Laughter, loud, but empty. My cousin nearly choked on his drink. My uncle leaned over and muttered, luxury gifts don't fix being a loser. And just like that, the air thinned. I looked around the table, no one flinched, not even Mom. I stood up, reached across the table, took the envelope from his hand. His smile faltered. What are you doing? You made your point, I said, gifts off the table. I walked out, calm on the outside, but inside, shaking. Drove through the night, didn't cry, didn't scream, just clenched the wheel like it was the only thing keeping me from flying apart. By morning, I'd missed 67 calls from him. Then a new number rang. This is Mr. Lambert, the voice said, your father's employer, we need to talk. 3 years ago, I was sleeping on a stained mattress in a shoebox apartment above a barber shop, ramen for dinner, overdraft accounts, juggling 3 part-time jobs to survive. No investors, no mentors, just me, a busted laptop, and the kind of motivation you get when someone tells you your whole life you won't make it. You always quit, my dad said when I dropped out of college. You never finish anything. He never asked why, never asked about the panic attacks, the crushing debt, the exhaustion that made me feel like I was watching my life from underwater. To him, I was just the failure. Todd was the golden child, finance degree, hedge fund job, wedding in Tuscany. I was the dropout, the embarrassment. So when I started my consulting agency, I didn't tell anyone, especially not him. I knew what he'd say. You, CEO of what, a lemonade stand? But I kept at it, made every mistake, learned, rebuilt, month by month, year by year. Then a break, a mid-size brand, then another, then one viral post, and everything shifted. Clients, revenue, respect. I made it. And I thought, stupidly, that maybe now he'd see me differently. But some people don't want to see you change. Because then they'd have to, too. I used to dream about this, not fame, not fortune. Just stability. A new car. A real apartment. Maybe a vacation that didn't involve crashing on a friend's couch. And when it finally happened, when I finally had something to show for years of scraping and surviving, that's when they started noticing me again. My dad's first compliment in over a decade? Looks like you finally figured out how not to screw everything up. He laughed like it was a punchline. I didn't. Still, I kept trying. Maybe some part of me still wanted to see pride in his eyes. Last year, I paid off their mortgage. Quietly. No grand gesture, just wired the money and told Mom to check the balance. She cried. He said, that's the least you could do after everything we've put into you. Put into me? You mean the sarcasm? The silent treatments? The humiliation that passed for parenting? Let me explain something about our house. My dad never raised a hand. He raised doubt. Cut you down with a grin. Made praise sound like pity. You got lucky, he'd say. Don't let it go to your head. And Uncle Tom, the one who whispered that line at dinner? He was worse. A permanent fixture in our garage, always with a beer, always unemployed, always somehow revered. But because he was Dad's brother, he had a seat at every table. You know what they called me when I started freelancing? Laptop Larry. Every Sunday barbecue, it was the same joke. Oh look, there's Larry with his screen again. Let us real men talk about real jobs. I remember once, I brought a nice bottle of whiskey after closing my first 5-figure contract. Just wanted to share a little victory. Uncle Tom scoffed, spinning like a baller now, huh? You sure you didn't scam someone? And Dad added, he probably made a slideshow about feelings and charged 10 grand for it. They never asked what I did. Never asked who I worked with. Never asked what it cost me to get here. But they always knew how to ask for money. Can you spot me for car repairs? Your cousin needs help with tuition. We're short on the taxes, just this once. It always came with the same tagline, family helps family. But when I needed help, crickets. When I pawned my guitar to make rent, nothing. When I skipped meals to pay off loans, they called me dramatic. When I broke down in the garage on Christmas, tears choking my throat, Dad looked at me and said, man up. No one likes a sob story. And now? Now I'm just the family ATM. A bank account with a pulse. Useful, finally, but never respected. Still, I believed, stupidly, that maybe the Lakers tickets would be different. Courtside. $8,000. His lifelong dream. Because I remembered the old photos of him in his jersey. The way he used to sneak a radio into bed just to hear the finals. I thought maybe, just maybe, this would be the moment he saw me the way he sees Todd. But all I got was still a disappointment. But hey, at least he's rich now. That line scorched deeper than any insult I've ever swallowed. And when I stood up, took the tickets back, no one stopped me. Not Mom. Not Todd. Like I was the one ruining the moment. But the morning after told another story. 67 missed calls from Dad. 5 from Mom. 12 from Todd. And a voicemail from a number I didn't recognize. Hello, this is Mr. Lambert, your father's supervisor at Westfield Automotive. He's asked me to speak with you. It's urgent. At first, I thought it was a prank. But the voice was steady. Professional. He came in very upset, Mr. Lambert said. Mentioned a personal matter. Something about Lakers tickets. He asked me to mediate. Mediate? He said he was too ashamed to call again. That he messed everything up. I hung up. 5 minutes later, Mom called. He didn't sleep, she said. He's crying. He thinks he's losing everything. Losing everything, because I took back a gift after being humiliated? Because you threatened to go public, she whispered. What? I never. He thinks you'll shame him. He said, people are already talking. And just like that, I understood. He wasn't sorry for hurting me. He was afraid of being seen. So I got in my car and drove straight to his work. I didn't want revenge. I wanted closure. I walked into Westfield Automotive like a man walking through fire. The receptionist blinked at me. I'm here to see Bill. She gestured nervously toward the office. He's with someone. Not anymore, I said, and opened the door. He looked up, pale, hunched, hands shaking around a cup of coffee. You came, he breathed. You called your boss, I said. I panicked, he mumbled. I thought maybe he could talk to you. Talk me into what? Apologizing for finally standing up for myself? It was a joke, he said. A bad one. I was nervous. Everyone was looking at me. You've been making me the punchline since I was 5. Don't act like that was new. He went quiet. I gave you something priceless, I said, and you turned it into a punchline. And when I walked away, you let me. I didn't know what to say. You never do. But you always know how to wound. Then he said it, the line I'll never forget. You think this makes you strong? Walking away? You're still that scared little boy who couldn't throw a ball straight. Just richer now. I leaned in across the desk. No, I said. I'm the man who built something from nothing while you laughed from this desk. I bought your house. Cleared your debts. Gave you the night of your life, and I took it back because you've never once treated me like I mattered beyond what I could offer. You're twisting everything, he said, voice cracking. No. I'm finally untwisting it. Then Mr. Lambert stepped in, awkward. Everything all right in here? I turned to him. Mr. Lambert, just so you know, your manager here treats people like garbage unless they benefit him. His son gives him courtside seats to the finals, and he calls him a disappointment, in front of the whole family. My dad stood up suddenly. Don't you dare embarrass me. I held up a hand. You did that all by yourself. And I walked out. As I left, I saw Mr. Lambert put a hand on my dad's shoulder, whispering something low. Let the rumors spread. Let the gossip swirl. I got in my car. Blocked his number. Let the 67 missed calls stay missed. I didn't answer a single one. Not the guilt trips. Not the gaslighting disguised as concern. Not the final desperate texts. Talk to us. You're being dramatic. We're your family, whether you like it or not. I turned off my phone for a week. No buzz. No pings. No demands. And for the first time in my life, the silence didn't feel like abandonment. It felt like peace. I wasn't waking up with a pit in my stomach, wondering if today would be the day my dad finally said something kind. I wasn't calculating how to earn approval from people who built their whole identity on tearing me down. I ate what I wanted, slept in, went to the gym, took a weekend trip to Santa Barbara. No schedule, no expectations, no fake dinners. I was alone, but not lonely. By day 5, I opened my phone again, more out of curiosity than anything. 73 missed calls. 41 from my father, 12 from my mother, 8 from Todd. The rest? Unknown numbers, and 1 from his work line again. I listened to one voicemail, just one. Son. I know I screwed up. I've never been good with words, you know that. But I didn't mean it, you gotta believe me. Don't let this be the end of us, please call me. I'm sorry. But I didn't call him back. Because I realized something. He wasn't sorry for what he said. He was sorry it finally had consequences. And yet, the moment that truly ripped the mask off came 2 weeks later, when my mother showed up at my door. I opened it, half asleep, still in sweatpants and an old hoodie. She looked small, tired, holding a casserole dish like we were still playing 1950s Family. Hi, she said softly, can we talk? I didn't answer, just moved aside and let her in, not out of guilt, just curiosity. She set the dish down, sat on my couch like it was sacred, and started right in. Your father hasn't been the same. I didn't reply. He hasn't eaten, missed work. Lambert says he's thinking about retiring early. So now you're here, I said, because he's spiraling and no one's left to clean it up. No, she snapped, too fast. I'm here because you're his son. When I was buying him gifts and paying his mortgage, what did that make me, his credit card? Her mouth opened, closed, no answer. I leaned back. You came to guilt me into forgiveness, not to understand. I came because I love you, she said. No, I corrected, you came because I was useful. The moment I set boundaries, I became the villain. She wiped her eyes, like she couldn't believe this was happening. But I wasn't done. I gave him everything, time, money, respect. And all he gave back was mockery. Now that I've walked away, you want me to fix the damage you let him cause? You think it was easy for me? She hissed suddenly. Living with that man? Watching him break you down while I tried to hold this family together? Oh, so now you were the silent martyr? I stood. You sat at every dinner, heard every insult, laughed at every cruel joke, and not once did you say, Bill, stop. You don't get to play innocent now. Her shoulders sagged. I'm not here to defend him, she said quietly. I'm here to ask if there's a way back. No, I said. There's a way forward. But it doesn't include him dragging me backwards. She looked broken. And I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt free. But the real breaking point came 1 week later. Another knock at the door. I opened it. And there he was, my father. His eyes were bloodshot, he'd lost weight. Looked like someone had wrung the arrogance right out of him. He didn't speak at first, then, I lost the tickets, he said. I blinked. What? He pulled a crumpled envelope from his jacket. I kept them in my drawer, even after you took them. Some part of me thought maybe if I said the right thing, you'd give them back. But I lost them. I don't care, I said. He nodded. I know. I didn't come for those. Then he said something I never thought I'd hear. I was a cruel man to you, your whole life. I thought if I pushed you hard enough, mocked you just enough, you'd try harder. That you'd prove me wrong. I stared at him. You think that's love? No, he whispered. I think that was cowardice. He sank onto the step outside my door. I don't know how to fix this. I don't even know if it can be fixed. But I want you to know. I see it now. I see you. And I hate that it took losing you to get there. He reached into his coat and pulled out a photo, me at 9 years old, holding a basketball, grinning with 2 missing teeth. I keep this in my wallet, he said, used to look at it and wonder what happened. Now I realize, I happened. I didn't speak. I didn't cry. I just looked at him and said, that boy deserved better. And I closed the door. A week after I shut the door on my father, the silence settled in like dust in an empty house. No more calls. No more visits. No more guilt masquerading as love. And still, I didn't miss them. I thought I would. I thought I'd lie awake wondering if I was wrong. But I didn't, not once. Because for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like the broken one. I felt like the only sane person, who finally stepped out of a burning building, and let it collapse, without running back in. My therapist, yeah, I finally got one, asked me something during our first session. Do you grieve the father you had, or the father you wished you had? I didn't even have to think. The one I wished I had, I said. Because the one I had, I never truly knew him. I only knew who I had to be to survive him. She nodded. Then your grief is a rebirth. You bet it was. I spent the next few weeks building a new rhythm. No family dinners. No backhanded compliments. No last-minute favors with silence expected in return. Instead, I poured into me, work, gym, reading, rest. I bought a piano, even though I barely knew how to play. Took lessons like a stubborn beginner. I started hiking on Sundays, alone, without telling anyone. No Instagram, no proof, just me and the world. I began writing again, journaling every thought I'd buried under. Maybe next time Dad will be proud. And then something strange happened. Todd called. I let it go to voicemail, of course. But curiosity got me, and I played it later that night. Hey, listen, I don't know how to say this, but I get it now, about Dad, about everything. I heard what happened at his work. I heard about what you said. I think I should have stood up for you that night. Pause. He's not well, man, he won't say it, but Mom says he's not eating. Keep staring at some photo of you as a kid. He quit Westfield last week, just walked out, no plan, no goodbye. Pause again, longer this time. I guess I'm just saying, you were right, I was blind, and I'm sorry. I deleted the message. Not out of spite, out of peace. Todd could wrestle with his awakening. That wasn't my battle anymore. But then came the last loose thread. My Uncle Tom. The one who whispered that dagger. Luxury gifts don't make up for being a loser. He texted me 2 lines that Friday. Didn't mean it like that, you know how I joke. Come by this weekend, family's asking about you. I didn't respond. Instead, I took a screenshot, printed it, folded it neatly, and slid it into an envelope. On the back, I wrote, luxury apologies don't make up for being a coward. Then I mailed it to him. No name. No return address. Just a truth he couldn't laugh away. A week later, I got an unexpected message. Not from any of them. It was a DM on LinkedIn. From a woman named Natalie Holston. Hi, you don't know me, but I used to work with your dad. He talked about you constantly, never in detail, but with this weird mix of bitterness and admiration. I just wanted to say, what you did, taking back your power, that mattered. People noticed. I noticed. And you inspired me to finally cut ties with my own toxic family. So, thank you. I stared at it for a long time. Not because I needed validation, but because that was the moment I knew. I hadn't just saved myself. I'd lit a torch for someone else lost in the same dark. And just like that, the weight lifted. It's a warm Saturday morning now. I'm walking out of a coffee shop, sunglasses on, notebook in hand. I stop by a bookstore and buy a new journal. The barista slips me a note with her number. I smile but don't react. I'm not rushing. I'm not chasing approval. I'm not performing. I'm just being. And just as I step back into the sunlight, I hear a small voice from behind. A boy, about 10 years old, holding his dad's hand, pointing at a billboard above us, a Lakers finals promotion. Dad, look, someday we're going to go, right? The father smiles and ruffles his son's hair. One day, yeah, I'll get us there. I stop. My throat tightens for just a second. Not from pain, but from the realization that I don't envy that boy anymore. Because I became the man he wished his father would be. And that man is no longer desperate for anyone's seat at the table, because he built his own. Final thought. Moral. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not waiting for the apology that will never come. I'm not haunted by the word still a disappointment. Because I know who I am. And I know what I'm not. I'm not your scapegoat. Not your bank. Not your punching bag. I'm not your son, if that means being your victim. I'm my own man. And I'm finally, free.